What's up, Patriots fans? Congratulations on your victory. Brady, Belichick, they do it again. They dominate the AFC. It's whatever, right? So I looked at a little bit of the game, and then, I decided to climb on Twitter, see what's happening. And I see some, users on there that are, I guess, a little too ahead of themselves here. So they want to make a comparison with Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. So, I wasn't going to say anything, but then I start seeing, maybe two or three more. And I felt like, okay, because before this starts to become a thing, let me just try to put everything into context. Okay. First, Tom Brady is a great quarterback. He may or may not be the greatest. Okay. What most sports fans do know is that in the mid-90s, 1994 season to be exact, Commissioner Tagliabue and the NFL Competition Committee got together and they passed a series of quarterback-friendly rules. The objective was, let's try to facilitate the passing game in order to allow for more points, which will allow us to bank more with ticket sales. So they believed, let's focus our game around the quarterback and then we'll all make more money, right? That's what they presented to the owners in the owners meeting. It passed. So what you're looking at with Tom Brady is a quarterback that is a product of a league that is conducive to the passing game. I promise you would not see a Wes Walker running around the field in 1976. Probably wouldn't see him in 86 either. Okay? A lot of the stuff that's flying now would not happen, right? These timing routes, these rub routes and pick routes, they would shut that down if you're playing, the 1980 Raiders or something like that, or the 85 Bears. So it was much more difficult for quarterbacks, like Warren Moon and Dan Marino, who played the majority of their careers before the 94 season, or even Joe Montana, obviously, who I don't think he played a full season with the new passing rules. And then you have guys like, Ken Anderson, who really played the majority of his career before 1978, which was the first set of passing rules. My point is that Tom Brady has an argument, but it is far from unanimous, right? On the other end, you got Michael Jordan. So I developed an Excel formula for both NFL and NBA players, right? And the NFL players, I pretty much compare them by a metric I'm calling wins above average. Really simple. Basically, the theory is really simple. I basically take all of the box stats, add some linear weights to them, mix in some formulas based off of some football books that I read. Not going to drop them all. But the bottom line to it is it compares quarterbacks in a consistent and fair way going all the way back to 1950. I did a similar thing with basketball with the box stats and the linear weights, put them all into a formula I call value shares. I ranked every player in basketball since 1950, I believe. I think that was I think both of the leagues probably had kind of a merger around the same time. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, I'm able to go back and compare players from different eras by simply adjusting them to today's era. So I have a fair playing field for the most part to compare all the players that have played. Well, let's take a look at Michael Jordan. 85, Actually 84, 85. But I just, label it, for my purposes in the Excel spreadsheet, the 85 season. Rookie year for Jordan. Second best player in the league. So he jumps in his rookie season, 21 years of age, out of North Carolina. He's the second best player in the NFL, in the NBA. The 86 season, his second season, didn't have enough games to qualify in my rankings. He was injured. 87, third best. 88 through 93, Michael Jordan was the best player, period. Not talking position. Best player from 1988 to 1993 in the entire NBA. 94, 95, that's the retirement stuff. He was on some other stuff. Comes back, 96, 97, best player in the NBA, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. He's the best player in the NBA. 98, he returns. Of course, the Bulls won the title that year, but I have him down as the second best. I'll give Karl Malone first best in 98. I know that's controversial, but that's how the rankings project in my system. Then he comes back after a 3-year retirement. 2002, he's the 91st ranked player. 2003, he's the 32nd ranked player. 5th ranked small forward if we're going by position. Let's go to Tom Brady. Tom Brady comes in year 2000, right? He rides the pine, does not play. 2001, he gets in, he's the 17th ranked player. And I'm adding in postseason stats in both of my rankings. 2002, he's the 15th ranked player. I said ranked player. Ranked quarterback. I can't even go to ranked player. It's just not even fair in any semblance of a comparison to Michael Jordan. What I did for Tom Brady is break him down by position, and quarterback is the most important position on the football field, especially following 1994 with the passing rules, right? So we got 2000, he's on the bench. 2001, he's 17th ranked quarterback. 2002, he's 15th ranked quarterback. 2003, we got 3rd. 2004, he's the 6th ranked quarterback. It isn't until 2005, when the man is 28 years old, that he is the top ranked quarterback in the NFL. 2006, he follows that. He's the 3rd ranked quarterback. 2007, that's the magical season with Randy Moss, right? 1st ranked. 2008, he has the injury. 2009, 8th ranked. 2010, 4th ranked. 2011, 12, 1st ranked player. 2013, 7th. 2014, 4th. 2015, he's the 2nd to Cam. 2016, he's 3rd. 2017, he's the 1st best player this year. At 40 years old. Very impressive. Very Barry Bonds-like. But when you look at the totality of what Michael Jordan did, right, we're talking about he's the best player in the NBA, right, from 88 to 93, and then again out of retirement, 96, 97. Tom Brady isn't the best player until his late 20s, early 30s. And then it fluctuates. He doesn't have a string of dominance where he's just the most feared, dominant, valuable player in the league like Jordan does. Longevity, Brady has an argument, but once again, you have to look at the rules that were set in place to protect the quarterback, okay? He's always going to have 2 tackles, for the most part, 2 tackles, 2 guards, and a center blocking for him. And the Patriots do throw a lot of short passes. You can play the short game now and just dump these passes off on these quick routes and stuff. So Tom Brady and a lot of the quarterbacks you're noticing are playing a lot longer than they used to. I know Warren Moon played forever, but in most cases, quarterbacks now, I would imagine, and I got to look at the stats to back me up on it, but quarterbacks are playing a lot longer nowadays because of the way the game protects them in the pocket. It protects them all around, really. But the bottom line to it is you got a player in Michael Jordan that's playing both sides of the ball. He's the most dominant in an era that, I haven't mentioned this, was very difficult for guards to dominate compared to today, where you got, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving. You can't touch these guys on the perimeter, right? You set a screen, you got Steven Adams setting these, brick wall screens. Westbrook just runs around them. Back in the day, it was much more physical on the perimeter. I mean, just look at how the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers played Michael Jordan. The NBA didn't start curtailing hand checking and that physical play really until the mid 2000s. So after Jordan retired, the game got a lot softer. And then you start seeing the Steph Currys and the Damian Lillards, and not to say they're not great players, but I'm sure Kevin Johnson's looking like, wow, I would have loved to play in this era. You can't touch the guards on the perimeter. Well, Michael Jordan played in a much more physical era. And that's why you saw a lot of big men dominating, like Hakeem and Shaq and David Robinson and Ewing and Alonzo Mourning later, because it was a lot more difficult for a guard to take over the game. Well, Jordan did. He did. In the midst of a lot of big men dominating in the mid-'80s and the early '90s, Jordan was a guard, leading the league in scoring, shot over 50% from the field or around there, especially in that stretch I mentioned from 88 to 93. I mean, he was a high percentage shooter, Then he was one of the best defenders, one defensive player of the year. Don't give me that, in football it's difficult to dominate. I get that, but do you really think Tom Brady can play defense? No, he can't play defense. Okay, we saw his combine scores. He will not be able to play defense. Jordan not only scores on you, but then he comes back around and stops you on the other end. It's just stop it. Just stop it. Brady needs a lot of assistance in order to win football games. Okay, Jordan, while you need a team, it's much more of a sport that shines the light on the individual. Okay? If you're an individual freak of nature like Michael Jordan was, and you're smart and understands what the defense is trying to do like he was, you dominate in basketball. In the NFL, very few people play both sides of the ball. That's why I got a lot of respect for Deion Sanders. And, there's a lot of cats early on that play both sides of the ball. But everybody's not built to play both sides of the ball. And Tom Brady certainly is not. He is not Michael Jordan. Stop it. I don't even know if he's Jim Brown. Tom Brady, argument for the greatest quarterback of all time. But pump your brakes on comparing him to Michael Jordan. Even LeBron James. Stop it.